This is Mr. Roche. We are here with Pente, and what we want to do is get um, all of the captures working, okay? And I'm going to try to demonstrate that mine does this all at once. Um, but what I have to do is I have to build a sort of a capture situation for it. So I'm going to keep working on this, and what I'd like you to do is do the same, okay? Um, Black or white right now? Okay, oops. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to make a kind of a thing that will get all captures here. And I'm going to do that. You don't have to watch this, but I'll keep working and I'll show you in little bits, okay? So I've gotten like one side made, okay? This has to be black. And then this can be white. It can be like that. And then it's black. It's black. Then I kind of run out of white, so I have to put the white someplace. So I'm almost done. That's good. Okay, and here it is. So if I put one stone in here, it should capture all of the black stones. And here it goes. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. It's thinking. Okay, I win. Yes, and it's done it. Okay, I actually should have went with 8 captures. I'm not sure what the problem is there, but there it is. It's done it. It's done. It did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 captures. Okay, so we want to get this kind of capability basically. Okay, and let me show you a little bit about how we did that. Okay. Here's also another thing too. I want to be able to on the console window. Okay, I want this to happen. You guys don't have this on your code yet. There's a command. I forgot to give it to you, and I want to give it to you now. Okay. So what I want is if I close off this window, I want this to it should show. Oh, I don't have it in here either. A different version of the code. But what I want to do is I want to get it in there and get it working like that, so that you don't want to have like lots of versions of Pente running at the same time. It's probably bad for our health. But there is a command in here, okay, that we can put in. This is in Pente main, and I actually want you to do this, okay? It comes in the frame, and what you want the frame to do is there's a kind of a default exit command that will happen here, okay? So right after in main, when you get the frame set, you want to go f dot set, and it'll pop up. Hang on. It's coming. Set default close operation. That's what we want. Okay. So we want that. I want to set default close operation, and our operation is it comes from f. F has its own set of literals, just like our Pente Whitestone. So we're going to go. There's this one called exit on close. Hopefully it'll show up. Exit on close. That's it. Right there. Okay. And that's a literal, just like we have this. It's some public static final that everybody can see. And we're going to use it. Okay. And so what will happen now is that when you run Pente, it'll turn this off. And like you don't have the thing running when you're not running it. Things like that. They sort of work more like in sync. So we want to do that. So what we want to do, see how it turns off now. That's good. We want that. So you want this command. Okay. So I'll put like this, like this command. Okay. Okay. And for nice exiting. Okay. And that's what we want. We don't want to have multiple versions of Pente running. It'll kind of like bog you down a little bit. So we don't want that. All right. Now let's go back to game board just so you know what's going on. So everybody's clear on what happened here. Okay. All right. You have something that counts the captures. True. Okay. Okay. It's up in the variables. Okay. Okay. We did this. Okay. All right. We figured out that we want this column to be here because this is a Y location. That makes sense with what we're doing. It wasn't about rows and columns. It was actually about X and Y at this point. So Y actually corresponds to row and X corresponds to columns. So, but people generally talk about matrices or whatever, like spreadsheets in terms of row and column. So we'll go with that. So that's what we've been doing, and that works. Okay. All right. So if you go through and you go down to our play game, what we're going to do is we're going to check for captures. Okay. I've got this routine called check for win. That'll tell you if you win or not. Okay. And I want to have all the captures sort of happen first, right? And then I want to do a change turn. Okay. So in check for captures, okay, line by line, first thing we do is get the row. Second thing we do is get the capture, get the column of the actual square. Okay. All right. Next thing you do is you get the opposite of the turn, whoever turn it is. So if it's black, the opposite is going to be white. If the turn's white, it'll turn and come back with black. Okay. Then what we do is we set up a for loop. Okay. And we set up this is going to change the row, right? Row is Y. That's what we decided, right? So it's going to have it be able to go up one row, go to the middle when it's at 0, and go down, or go up one when it's plus, go down, stay on the row, stay horizontal when it's 0, and go down. So this allows you to do diagonals too. Okay. Okay. There is a reasonably interesting if statement here, because what we're doing is we're checking the edge for a diagonal if dy is positive, meaning going up. Okay, so it's going up, it's looking this way, and it's looking or no, if it's positive, it's going down. Sorry, it's going down. It's looking to the bottom of the board, and we want to make sure it doesn't go off the board. Okay, this one is if it's going up. Okay, so it's going negative, it goes up from where it is because it's going towards 0, and 0 is like the top row, top column here. And then we also have to let it operate if it's just 0 and horizontal. Okay, we don't have any. There's no row checking if it's 0 because there's no movement. Okay, of whether either rows or columns. Okay, so we actually do this. I actually do this before the for loop that's in here to have it not have to go through that for loop because it seems like a waste of processing time. So I kind of do that and just check it. Okay. This is the exact same for loop for X, which is columns. Okay, so we do one for the rows and one for the columns. Okay, and what we're doing is we're going to change the row and column by dx and dy, and d means like delta, right? Like to change in y and change in x. That makes sense. Okay, and that's sort of Alan's idea, and we're like implementing. It seems good. All right, so then if you get into the second loop for columns, then this is exactly what we did for homework before, okay? Except I added this one thing to allow the dy, because a dt I had kind of talked about, like, well, what if it's 0 and stuff like that. This allows this to handle that, okay? So we have a special case where if dx is going positive, which is going down, and we check or going basically right over to here, and we check the edge to see if it's not falling off the frame. Here it's the same thing, except you're going backwards to check to see if it's going like over too far left. We do nothing if it's 0 because there's no movement. Okay, and then all I did was I added this special little business to each of the rows and column checks. You already have the state for opposite, and current, right? So we're going to check this. We're going to add this to each one of them equally. Okay, so row and column also has this. Row and column also has this for 2, and row and column also has this for 3. Okay, and that's what happens. Okay, and then if they have a capture, we take the stones. Okay, and we have a repaint. So take stones is pretty easy. We did this before. You might not have exactly this, but it's the thing. So what I wanted to do was Okay, take stones. What it does is it sets the states of the boards, whatever we send it, which is going to be handled by this loop. See, we're calling take stones. We do some fancy stuff up here, some little bit of math, and then we handle the stone thing here. Okay, we count the captures, right? Okay, and basically we just reset them to empty. Okay, so then at that point we check. Oh, we should actually. This is why it says 5. This is my problem. It should be like with Blackstone captures with. Okay, so I'm going to make that a variable. Okay, so then that's done. That'll solve that one problem that they noticed before. Okay, let's make these equal. Just put a plus up here. Boop. Okay, so they look the same. Okay, this is like the exact same kind of thing. We're going to do JF Champagne. You can pretty this up too. You could actually use HTML to make this like prettier and stuff. But we won't do that today. Okay, and Whitestone captures. Okay, and that'll solve that. Okay, and that's kind of it. Okay, and so what you want to do is you want to test this out and make sure it works. Okay, and that's all I want you to really do. This is the code. Okay, you'll do it. You can stop the movie and just sort of look at the code. Okay, it's all here. It does what we want. Okay, it's a little bit long here. I can push this over here. Okay, but it's pretty straightforward. Okay, I mean, all it did was it did the one thing that we did in class, and now it applies it like 8 different ways, which is cool because we use these for loops, and we like less code. That's what we like. Okay, I'm trying to squish this up so you can see it. It's pretty clear. Let me get rid of the console window here. Okay, that's basically it. Okay. And notice that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 curly brackets to end this puppy here. Okay, because there's some serious if statements and for loops going on in here. Okay, but basically there's one for loop, right, nested in a second for loop up here, and then there's some like edge checking. This is what's going on here. This is edge checking. And then there's your 3-part test, which is that. Okay? And that looks pretty good to me. One thing I might do to help me out is when I did that massive check, did you notice that the stone didn't get put in until the end? Well, that's because we, in the play game thing, whoopee, I'm in the wrong place. In play game, we should, right here, see where you set the state? Okay? We should do a repaint like here. So just go like this dot repaint. Okay, because then it'll set the stone, and then it'll kind of like do the check, and maybe that'll help with that. Because like if you have lots of them, obviously there's a lot of processing. Do you see what's going on here? There's like tons of processing here, isn't there? Ooh. Okay, but that's what's happening, and you know, and you can put like. You know, you can put a repaint here too. You can have lots and lots of repaints. The computer actually just kind of catches them, and it will do like the fastest one it can do, or the most recent one. So having lots of repaints isn't so terrible. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check mine, and what you also want to do is you want to sort of check the edges and stuff too. So like, let me see if mine's going to work. If I have more work, that's okay. But what I want is the basic 8 of them. Okay. And if you can get that, that's good. If you already have that, then you do want to check for a win, okay? Because that'd be the next thing to do. And that's kind of it, okay?